Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks come in a couple games north of 500. The Rockies at 16-23. And we begin tonight by telling you good news. Randy Johnson will not be pitching tonight. And good evening, everybody. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, he's 43 years of age. He has 281 wins. He's headed for the Hall of Fame, and he's still got great stuff, as the Rockies learned last night. They turn the page tonight. They'll face another guy that's pretty good in Brandon Webb. They have to get the offense going. Just 4 runs over the last 3 games. They're bringing my partner, Jeff Houston, tonight. It's a good matchup. One we've seen a few times this year already. Aaron Cook against Webb.
Well, this will be the 3rd time that Cookie has faced Webb this year, so it's certainly going to be a tough task for Aaron. Think back to this opening day start. It was up and down, not too bad, a little nervous, but in his last 2 games, he's actually gotten wins. So Cookie is starting to get on a little bit of roll, something that you would expect from Aaron. Now he's going up against Brandon Webb. Not too bad numbers himself. Don't forget, this guy was a Cy Young Award winner last year. In his last outing against the Astros, pitched 9 complete games. The difference between Aaron Cook and Brandon Webb, although they're both sinker ball pitchers, is Webb has a few more strikeouts. He's 5th in the National League right now in strikeouts, so he does have that strikeout pitch, if you will. It will be interesting to see, though. He threw 118 pitches in his last start, so I don't know how he's going to rebound.
You know what? The Rockies have been pretty good so far this year. They have 10 runs off him in 12 innings of work. Hopefully that trend will continue this evening. Wednesday night at the ballpark. That means it's mic'd up night. Garrett Atkins will eavesdrop on him this evening. Rockies and Diamondbacks. Tonight's game is presented in FSN high definition and is available in HD on Comcast channel 664. And welcome back to the ballpark. Aaron Cook has completed his warm-up pitches. He's set to go and step into the box. One of the hottest Diamondbacks, the kid Chris Young out of Bel Air, Texas. And the first pitch of the ball game is a hard sinker for strike 1. Young, a couple of hits and 4 trips last night. He's now hitting 7 straight, and he's not just getting a base hit every night. He's getting 2 and 3 hits every night, as his average over the 7 games, 509. Not going to have a hit here. Let's take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks lineup tonight for Bob Melvin. Stephen Drew will be in the 2-hole. Then Orlando Hudson. Eric Burns, who homered last night, he'll bat 4th. Tony Clark will be in the 5-hole at first base. Scott Hairston in left field. A kid by the name of Mark Reynolds up from Double-A, filling in for Chad Tracy, who was placed on the disabled list today with a sore rib cage. He'll bat in the 7-hole, then Chris Snyder and Brandon Webb. That's a big blow to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tracy's been trying to play through that injury. Obviously could not. They want to shut him down for a while. But I'm sure Aaron Cook's pleased he's out of the lineup because he's hit 500 in his career.
And Bob Melvin said that was the toughest decision that he had to make, because Chad Tracy's one of those guys that just doesn't want to come out of the lineup. And he fought him, but he thought taking 15 days now was better than a month later.
Line right at Omar Quintanilla. What did Josh Burns tell us before the ball game? He said Stephen Drew may be hitting 232. But he's hit into a lot of hard outs.
He has, but here's tonight's scouting report brought to you by the Giant Fordland. It's Cookie's 9th start this year, 91st of his career. Beat San Francisco in his last start, going 6 innings. He needs to keep the sinker down and use your defense, and then rattle the snakes. Keep them off balance. 2-seam, 4-seam fastball, change up. And right now, purchase a used vehicle from the Giant Fordland. If it ever breaks, we'll buy it back or fix it for free. No questions asked.
There's 2 guys normally in the Arizona Diamondback lineup that have really had success against Aaron Cook. One we just talked about, Tracy. The other is this guy, Orlando Hudson, hitting 522
and 12 for 23. Cook. I mean, just ridiculous numbers against Aaron Cook. But we see it almost every single night, though. There's always one guy in a lineup that gives a pitcher problems, and for tonight's contest, it's Orlando Hudson for Cookie.
Aaron's way ahead, 0-2. They want to come inside, and with the 4-seam fastball, it's too far inside.
And that's what Aaron needs to do. He needs to make sure that he keeps left-handers off balance by working inside with that. Now you can go sinker away and then the changeup if you want, or double up with the fastball back in.
Big Chuck Merriweather's behind the plate. He thought about that one. There's Chuck. Alfonso Marquez at first, Tim Timmons at second, and the crew chief Rick Reed is at third base.
Chuck's establishing his strike zone as well early in the ball game. Two quality pitches from Aaron. Chuck saw him as balls inside.
And the sinker was also inside, 3-2.
Orlando Hudson is certainly one of those guys that enjoys playing the game. During batting practice, he's talking as much as the other 24 guys out here.
Good pitch by Cook. Quintanilla will throw out Orlando Hudson, and a terrific start for Aaron. 1-2-3 in the first. We'll see the Rockies with the bats when we come back to 20th and Blake. Well, the big unit was special last night. He pitched 6 innings, gave up a bunt single to Willie Taveras, picked him off, so he faced a minimum at 6. Threw only 79 pitches. The reason he did not go longer into the ball game, his back stiffened up. Taveras will lead it off again. Willie over his last dozen, hitting .426. Then Tulowitzki, Holiday, Helton in his career, 357 stick against Brandon Webb. John Mabry has great numbers against Webb. That's why he's in at third base for Garrett Atkins. Brad Hopp in right field. Chris Iannetto bats 7th, and Quintanilla 8th, and Cook. Omar also swinging the bat pretty well of late. Last year's Cy Young Award winner Brandon Webb, 3-2 right now at the .332 ERA, and that pitch high and tight, ball 1.
Yeah, but don't let those numbers fool you. I mean, here's a guy that still is feared in the National League. Following Randy Johnson, pretty good 1-2 punch, and it seems like we talk about it every single night. I mean, that's what the Rockies are up against. You look at all the top starters in the National League West, from the Giants to the Padres to the Dodgers. This is what you're going to get.
That's why what the Diamondbacks did earlier this year, when they reeled off 6 straight wins inside the division, was particularly noteworthy. They beat Kane, they beat Peavy, they beat Randy Wolf. I believe they beat Penny in that deal. Down the left field line. Let's see if Willie gets 2 bags out of it. He's going to have to put on the brakes. Scott Hairston is a good left fielder. He got to the baseball quickly, and he throws pretty well.
Here's tonight's scouting report, brought to you by the Giant Fordland for Brandon Webb. His 9th start this season and 138th of his career. Mentioned in his last start, complete game, 10 strikeouts against the Astros. Unlike Aaron Cook, who needed to keep his sinker down, the Rockies need to make sure they get the sinker up. And think back to his last start against the Rockies, 5 runs and 4 walks and a lot of pitches. Right now, purchase a used vehicle from the Giant Fordland, and if it ever breaks, we'll buy it back or fix it for free, no questions asked. I like that attempted bunt. You know, whether he does it or not, at least it draws the infielders in. But the Rockies need to scratch and claw, find a way to get a run early in the ball game to take a little pressure off of Aaron Cook.
You have your stopwatch tonight? I know you do.
I gotta dig it out. I got it.
Rockies last night touched second base once. That was in the 9th inning when Yorvi Torrealba hit a double off Jose Valverde. They had only 3 hits all night. Chris Snyder's thrown out 3 of 12 this year.
Brandon Webb's pretty quick to that plate. The last pitch, by the time he started and hit the catcher's glove, is 1.21 seconds.
Under 1-3 gets your attention, doesn't it? There goes Willie. Here's Snyder's throw to second, no shot. So Taveras steals second base, his 10th bag of the year.
This is what Willie can do. He just got a quick jump, timed Brandon Webb's delivery to home a little bit slower that time. He just outran the baseball. Take a look. As soon as he goes, he does not even look back at the hitter, realizing that he got a good jump. Wasn't a hit and run, so no need to peek.
2 balls and a strike on Tulowitzki. Inside 3-1 on Troy. Nobody out. Willie's at second base. So he has 10 stolen bases. It's May 16th. Last year, Matt Holliday, Jamie Carroll led the Rockies with 10 stolen bases.
I think back too, he also missed 5 games just a couple weeks ago with the bad groin.
Ball 4. Nice at bat by Tulowitzki. 2 on for Matt Holliday. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. They've been a middle of the road club so far this year on D. Hairston in left, Chris Young at center. Eric Burns goes from left to right tonight. And the kid, we'll see how he handles it. Mark Reynolds at third base, Stephen Drew at shortstop, Orlando Hudson, and Big Tony Clark at first. Snyder again behind the dish. There's Mark Reynolds. What do you think's running through his mind, Huey, huh?
Probably, what am I doing here in the big leagues right now? He got off the plane, got to the ballpark about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I mean, yeah, he tried to spit there and nothing came out.
It was dry.
Right. He was in AA Mobile yesterday. Now he's at Coors Field starting at third base. And a drag bunt that's going to go foul. When was the last time you saw Matt Holliday do that?
Well, the only time was during batting practice today. He was just messing around before he took his regular cuts. Pushed one to first base and then tried to drag one down the third base line. But it just goes to show you how the offense, though, is you need to, as Tony La Russa, the great manager of the Cardinals, said, you try to score 1 run in 4 innings, and that's just going to give you a chance, your ball club a chance to win.
Well, he was bunting for a hit
He
there.
was.
His last sack bunt,
well, and
saw
he figured,
the graphic,
you know
was
what?
3 years ago. And it may be another 3 years before you see one.
Think about the rookie, too, at third base. You know, Mark Reynolds, not really a third baseman, drafted as a shortstop.
A smart play. If
Yeah, it's a great play.
Involve the kid, the bases are loaded in all likelihood if it's fair, and Todd Helton's up with nobody out. You got to like that.
Yeah, and a guy that's hitting over 350 against Brandon Webb and Helton.
One in this ball to right center field. Here comes Burns, and he's going to get there.
Let's take a look at our keys to the game tonight. First, cookie don't crumble. And Aaron's won his last 2 starts. Keep it going. I mentioned keep the D in it. The Rockies are #1 in the National League in fielding percentage. And the offense, we talked about it already. Got to find a way to score. Bunt, hit and run, whatever it takes. These keys to the game are brought to you by Burt Toyota.
So Helton up there with Willie Taveras at second base, and Troy Tulowitzki at first, 1 out. Last night, both Helton and Holliday were kept off base. It's the first time all year that both players, or that neither player, reached somehow in a baseball game. And check swing, comebacker. Webb throws it into center field. A run will come home. Tulowitzki will go to third. That should have ended the inning. Instead, it's first and third. 1-0 Colorado.
Sometimes you'll take it any way you can get it. A little check swing from Todd. Bounce right back to Brandon Webb. Goes to fire to second base and threw it into center field. Brandon Webb's first error of the season. Todd didn't mean to swing on this, tried to stop. A nice hustle from Troy going down to second base, and that's part of the reason I think why Brandon Webb threw it away. He realized when he grabbed it that Tulowitzki was right there. He better hurry up.
John Mabry 7 for 13 in his career against Brandon Webb, and he takes strike 1. That was such an errant throw that Orlando Hudson, who was backing up and was in good position, couldn't come near it.
Well, he missed second base by 6 or 7 feet, and the second baseman's going to be on the other side, basically, of second base. Take a look at the Exmo. You can see Stephen Drew try to reach for it and stay on. Orlando Hudson was out of the corner of the picture there, trying to back it up. It just went so bad that Chris Young had to field it.
Pulled foul. John Mabry, a tough assignment. Try to lift that heavy sinker into the air and get Tulowitzki home from third.
It's a tough assignment to try to have to do that because Brandon Webb works down in the strike zone so frequently. You just have to change your bat angle a little bit.
They come home with it. Out at home plate. Tulowitzki, I think, by his reaction, thought he got his feet in there. Tony Clark looked to go to second, said, you know what, it wasn't hit hard enough to get two. And that was a heads-up play by the veteran Tony Clark.
Well, Tony's played in enough games that he realizes that I'm not going to be able to turn two on this ball. Gets a little short hop, realizing that Tulo is not all the way down there. He's able to throw it. Take a look from our overhead camera. It's a tough call from Chuck Merriweather on the backside. His front foot might have got in there. But you mentioned Tony Clark, the veteran guy, saw him out of the corner of his eye, made the strong throw to Chris Snyder.
Been an interesting inning already. First and second, 2 outs, still 1-0, and Brad Hopp at the plate. Brad pinch hit last night in the 9th inning. Made the final out of the ball game. Now let's watch this slide. We'll try to slow it down for you and see if the foot did touch.
Well, as it's coming in, he's got his right foot, his left leg, bent leg slide. It's a tough angle for the umpire to try to gauge where the glove is touching the body. The foot might have been 3 or 4 inches off the ground, though.
0-2 on Hopp.
You know, if we're trying to have to slow it down and see if he got in there, think about it in fast speed. As he goes to slide, that right foot just comes up just briefest of seconds and then goes back down. Chris Snyder did a good job showing Chuck Merriweather the glove. The ball beat the glove. A lot of times that will dictate what the call is. You wonder why Troy left and went in that situation with the runner on first. And when it's hit the first base, you're really assuming that the Diamondbacks are going to try to turn two in that instance. Wasn't hit that hard. It was a calculated risk. Rockies just came up on the short end that time. Well, the other thing too is Tony Clark made a heck of a play out of the corner of his eye, deciding to go home with it.
Outside, it's 1-2 on Hopp. The thing that makes Webb so unique as a quote-unquote sinker baller is that he'll get a number of strikeouts. He has a swing and miss sinker. He'll use a secondary pitch to strike people out. Case in point, his last outing, a 3-1 complete game win at Houston. He struck out 10. And he strikes out Brad Hopp here with a couple of men on. Rockies do get a run, and Brandon Webb can blame himself for that. He threw it into center field. Atkins wearing a microphone tonight as the Rockies leading 1-0. He is not starting at third base. Let's see what he's talking about.
Doesn't mean I have to talk the whole game, does it?
They only put like 3 or 4 clips on. I mean,
If that, right?
you just gotta have like 3 or 4 funny things happen today.
Last year I was Mike and it was pouring down rain. I was out there playing short. I was going to just love playing in the rain. I love it.
Let's go, Tulo, come on. Everyone's going to vote holiday now. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Now they got something to talk about tonight. They got that on TV. One of these cameras probably ain't even on it.
Garrett, we got it. A lot of people, not only in Denver, will be voting for Matt Holliday for the All-Star game. Strike on Burns. You know, when you come in hitting .357 with 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, you ought to get some votes, right?
Well, you should. And a slugging percentage over 600.
Leading the major leagues in hits. Second in extra base hits with 24. Third in the league in hitting.
Well, from a guy that only has 9 walks on the season, so he's putting the ball in play a lot and hard.
2-2 to Burns is popped foul out of play.
Mentioned Eric Burns in the pregame show and what kind of damage he's done against the Rockies. He's one of those pesky guys that you just don't like playing against.
This is popped up, and Quintanilla will make the play. You know, you say pesky, and I agree with you, but he's pesky with power.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
You know,
exactly.
usually you think of pesky, you think of a little guy. Holiday, Taveras, and Hop in the outfield. Mabry at third base tonight for Atkins. Tulowitzki, Quintanilla, and Helton around the infield. Chris Iannetta doing the catching this evening. Burns is gone. Tony Clark will come up. And it's inside on Clark. You and I had an interesting conversation with Clark yesterday. And we posed the question, all right, if you stay in the game, do you want to be a manager or a general manager? And he said, I definitely want to stay in the game.
Oh,
and he said it's going to be hard to take the uniform off. He really enjoys being in the dugout with the guys and the strategy of the game.
Well, and baseball's fortunate that guys like Tony Clark want to stay in the game. I think, folks, we talked about it the other night, what a great guy Walt Weiss is. This guy might be right behind him as far as that goes. He's an outstanding guy. Played by Omar on a sharp one hopper to him, but Tony Clark, if he wanted to be a GM, manager, coach,
yeah, whatever he wants to do, he'll be able to do it. He's one of the most engaging guys in baseball, and the young guys, and they have a number of them with Arizona, are smart to saddle up next to Tony Clark. Chris Young, he's like his shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris is always around Tony Clark.
Just gravitate to a guy like that. That's what they do, and they love listening and talking to him because he has a unique perspective, and he just helps him and really acts as a mentor to some of these young guys.
That's what you need when you're doing what the Diamondbacks are, what the Rockies did a couple of years ago, where you're playing 3, 4, 5 young guys every ball game. Good pitch by Cook, 1-1. You need a couple of guys that have a little salt and pepper in their beer, right?
Stabilizers, if you will. I mean, because this game is an emotional roller coaster. One day you're up as high as you want to be, and the next day you're lower and low.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike on Scott Hairston. Hairston pinch hit in last night's ball game. Hit a home run on Sunday in Houston. Chopped foul. He was part of that high school team in Tucson with Chris Duncan and
Canyon Del Oro High School in Tucson.
And Ian Kinsler.
Yeah.
Kinsler's got, what, about 11 home runs with Texas this year? Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, 10 or 11, hitting 260. I mean, playing solid second base for him as well.
How about that high school team?
Yeah. Well, they have a very good program down there at Canyon Del Oro, and this year they were state semifinalists. They lost in the semifinals this year, and one game away from going to the championship in 5A in Arizona high school baseball.
You went to Sonora High School. What high school did you go to?
Mingus High School.
All right. You're up in the pretty part of the state. Sedona. Not that Tucson's not pretty. 1-0 Colorado. Middle of 2. Rockies ahead 1-0. Chris Iannetta will take his turn against Brandon Webb, and he gets that good breaking pitch. Strike 1. Quintanilla to follow, then Aaron Cook. Rockies scratched out a run in the first. Taveras a base hit. Tulowitzki walked, and Willie would eventually score on a throwing error on a comebacker by Todd Helton. Brandon Webb fired the ball into center field, really in a left center field. I mean, he was way off, and Webb gloves this one, and then he nearly threw it in the dirt, lobbing it to Tony Clark. Let's take a look at our fun fact from Excel Energy. When the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in the 0-1 World Series, the Yankees had been a baseball team longer than Arizona had been a state. How about that? Arizona became a state back in 1912, and the Yankees have been around longer than that.
48 state.
And here's another fact. Each hour, the surface of the Earth receives enough sunlight to power the world's energy needs for the entire year. All of that from Excel Energy. Quintanilla takes outside ball 1. All facts about Arizona, direct them to my partner Jeff Houston. All inquiries about
state bird is a cactus wren. I remember
state
that.
plant's a cactus too, isn't it?
Remember that from my 4th grade geography and history and whatever class you take in 4th grade.
Yeah. I don't remember history in 4th grade. I mean, they touch on
State
some
history.
things, but that is a fair ball.
Hey, Rockies fans, when you donate your old car, truck, or SUV to Cars Helping Kids, you can change a kid's life. When you donate a vehicle, you not only get a tax break and a free tow, but you also get a $1,000 voucher toward the purchase of a new or used vehicle from Freeway Ford and Longmont Ford. For more information, go to carskids.com or cheaperfords.com.
Aaron Cook steps up. That little fella having a good time at the ballpark. Aaron's been a tough out this year. 3 hits and 12 at bats, including a pair of doubles.
One of those in Cincinnati in front of about 500 of his closest friends and family.
And he hit it off the midsection of the left center field wall, about 390 feet from home plate, a few feet from jogging around the bases. 1-1, and it's chopped to third. Kid does a nice job there. Mark Reynolds, his first chance in the big leagues, an easy one. Good inning for Webb. We go to the third, 1-0 Colorado. Rockies leading 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. Aaron Cook has set the first 6 down without a problem. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles than anyone. When you drive any of these Chevy flex fuel vehicles, you can help reduce greenhouse emissions and reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Good for the environment, good for the economy, good for Colorado. Chevy, made for Colorado. Time for the first major league at bat for Mark Reynolds.
I like that big.
Yeah, that big exhale.
Yeah.
Grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and was a big star at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. Called up from Double-A. Fires at the first pitch, strike 1. Reynolds last year split time between A-ball and Double-A, and he had a very good year. He hit 31 home runs, which was the most in the minor leagues for the Arizona Diamondbacks. In fact, it was the most in the organization, period. Right now, he's saying to himself, man, I didn't see a guy with a sinker like that.
Didn't throw quite this hard or with this much movement in Double-A. You might be wondering, why did they bring a guy up from Double-A instead of a guy from Triple-A? Well, the guy at Triple-A, Brian Barton, was hurt, and he wasn't doing all that well either. Hitting just a little over 200.
And he had broken with the team.
Yeah.
He was originally with the Diamondbacks this year.
And the other option would be call up a guy like Augie Ojeda to fill in for two weeks or so until when Chad Tracy came back, but he was also hurt. It's all about timing in this game, folks.
1-2, and it's pulled foul. I'm sure that gives him a little more confidence. He's able to hit the ball hard.
Right now, he's just trying to slow everything down. He's on that merry-go-round, and it's spinning pretty quickly.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Reynolds. Book on him is from minor leagues. He has pretty good bat speed. I'm sure if you hit 31 home runs, you got to have a little bit of bat speed.
You got to be able to do something through the zone, and 31 home runs don't come by accident.
23-year-old Mark Reynolds, and here's the 3-2 pitch. And he hits this ball in the air to center field pretty well, but Willie Taveras will get back and make the catch. So now he can breathe again.
Yeah. Not a bad at bat for his first one in the big leagues. Able to see 6 pitches, foul 3 or 4 of them off. Be a little bit more relaxed. The guys will be talking to him down in the dugout, shaking his hand.
And the first guy to reach out to him was a guy you played against, Kevin Seitzer, the hitting coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he gave him a hand. He said, nice job. His bunt goes foul, so Snyder will have to come back.
Well, that's what you want to make sure you do to a young guy too. You know, Seitz has been there. He's played in the big leagues for a number of years. His first year coaching as the Diamondbacks hitting coach. You want to instill some confidence in these guys, make them feel good about themselves. It's just one at bat, flew out, but still he saw some pitches and he got a feel for it.
John Mabry will throw out Chris Snyder. Cookie has the effective sinker going again.
Boy, it's going from about the knees down to the ankles. Let's take a look at our Exmo. Cookie really does something unusual. Watch when that left foot comes, it'll double tap, hit there, and then it'll come back out there. I mean, not a whole lot of guys do that. There's only one other guy I remember doing that kind of pausing in that motion would be Rob Nin, the former closer for the San Francisco Giants.
You know who did that, and he was only here briefly, who also threw hard like that? Craig House.
Yep. It's unusual. A lot of guys can't do something like that. Basically start and stop and start again.
Is it to keep that front shoulder closed from flying?
And also to keep your momentum back before you deliver the ball to the plate. Looks like a hitter who toe taps before he goes to swing. It's a timing mechanism to get his arm up on top so you can get the good sinker action going.
Swung on and missed. 2-2 on Brandon Webb. These guys are old friends. Third time they've hooked up this year. Opening day and then again in mid-April down in Arizona.
Well, much like the other night when we saw Jeff Francis and Barry Zito matching up for the third time already this year. Earlier in this homestand.
That was another guy that Arizona beat during that 6-game winning streak. They beat Barry Zito. I mean, think about it. It's going to be tough to put a long winning streak together when you're inside your own division with the kind of pitching that teams have in the NL West. 1-0 Colorado, middle of 3. There's Willie Taveras. He'll lead things off in the third inning for the Rockies. He has scored the only run in this ball game. Rockies up 1-0, bottom of the third. Here's the Panasonic Plasma Speed of Sports. And this is last night, Randy Johnson. I don't know where that ball was going that Randy threw. But you have to hurry when you got a guy who can fly like Willie Taveras. Panasonic Plasma Speed of Sports. Back with Jeff Hewson, I'm Drew Goodman at Coors Field. Taveras, Tulowitzki, and Holiday.
Randy's throw is almost as far off the mark as
Webb's
was in the first inning.
Randy's was worse.
Okay, it was.
Webb's was bad. Randy's was worse.
Randy's was awful. Kind of funny.
Randy split the difference between first base and home. If you went out and watched where the ball that he threw crossed the white line, it was 45 feet from the plate, 45 feet from first base.
It was that 45-foot line that's down the first base line.
Yeah. 1-2 on Taveras.
And he was promptly picked Willie off, though, 2 pitches later.
With an accurate throw. And this is going to be a problem. Forget about it. That's the great thing about Willie Taveras. I mean, it's not always going to be pretty, but when you run like he does, I mean, he's just trying to stay alive there on a nasty pitch, and he does. All Webb can do is kind of smile.
Well, you can't teach speed, and certainly Willie almost misses his ball completely. He's just able to nub it down the third baseline. I mean, he couldn't even bunted this ball any better than the way he swung and just topped it over there. 3 guys just get together, pick up the baseball, and start all over.
His 14th infield hit this year that leads the National League. And he got his 10th steal his last time on base.
Talk about how fast Willie is. And he realizes about halfway down, and he just starts to break it down because he knows that he's got a base hit as soon as he comes out of the box.
Got it, baby!
National League stolen base leaders: Jose Reyes with 21, Juan Pierre with 15. Shane Victorino has 14.
Phillies, yeah.
Hanley Ramirez, what a good young player he is with Florida. He's got 13, and then Taveras. And this is to third. And it's going to turn into a double play. Good pickup by Tony Clark, 5-4-3.
Wow.
That's why hitting in the 2 hole's tough. You have to exhibit some patience. Tulowitzki got a pitch evidently he liked, but now he erases both runners and takes the speed off.
Yeah, that is a tough spot. Do you wait till he tries to steal a pitch? Do you give him one? I mean, you're kind of caught in a no man's land. He ended up chopping the ball to third base, but Reynolds got rid of that ball pretty quickly. What's a pretty good throw to second base?
What's your philosophy on that? Because when you have a guy, not just a decent base stealer, but a guy that could be a prolific base stealer like Taveras, don't you have to give him an opportunity?
Yeah, I think you take it till you get at least one strike on you. Give him 1 or 2 pitches to go. That's why I like to see those guys at first base that have the speed to take off early in the count.
Deep in the hole, Drew gathers, and he'll throw out Holiday. 7-pitch inning for Brandon Webb, even though he gave up the infield hit to Taveras. 1-0 Colorado. We're off to the 4th. Taco Bell game reset in the 1st inning. Todd Helton, a check swing comebacker. Watch Webb's throw with Willie Taveras going from second to third and then on to home. Tulowitzki would end up in third. And John Mabry rolled one to Tony Clark, and he threw out Tulowitzki on a close play at the plate. Otherwise, the Rockies may have had a second run in that 1st inning. Aaron Cook's been terrific. He has faced 9, and he's retired all 9. He begins again with Chris Young at the top of the Arizona lineup. Young hit a fly ball to right, and the curveball is swung on and missed. Arizona, like the Rockies, have struggled with the bats a good portion of this season. In fact, in May, they're hitting only .224. They have 36 runs scored in May. That's the lowest total in baseball.
And the way they've done it really is just with no power, if you will. They're scoring 3 runs. They're trying to scratch out a run 2-3 a game.
Taveras will find this one out. This season, Cardell Holmes is sponsoring Home Runs for Hunger. Each time a Rocky hits a home run, Cardell Holmes will donate $100 to the Food Bank of the Rockies. To learn more about Home Runs for Hunger or to pledge your support, go to Cardell Holmes. That's spelled C-A-R-D-E-L. CardellHomes.com. Click on Home Runs for Hunger. Great program. 1 out. Stephen Drew comes up. He ripped the ball, but right at Omar Quintanilla's first time.
Get back to your point in the 1st inning. I mean, Stephen Drew, he's hitting 232 now, 230 on the nose. But as you mentioned, Josh Burns talked about how he has no luck.
The bat, or at least the barrel of the bat, ended up in the stands over the top of the Rockies dugout. I mean, well, you know, everybody gets a piece. He got a little part of the bat. She got some splinters. Hopefully she's okay. That bat went everywhere.
That ball traveled out to second base, and the bat traveled to the stands. And that's a tough place to be if you're a fan. Do you watch the baseball? Do you watch the flying bat coming at you? I think you got to pick the bat coming.
Huey, that's not a tough decision to make. Bat coming at one's head or watching the ball game.
You're watching the game. You're not expecting a bat to come out of the almost hit you in the head.
No, but if you're sitting close, no, we say this seriously. If you are sitting along those first and third base lines, the first 30 rows, pay attention, especially if you have little ones. Please, please pay attention.
Sometimes you wish that the ball was coming in this slow on the Exmo shot from our third base angle. And the barrel just took off.
Hudson rolls this one over, and Helton with a nice lead to Aaron Cook. And now Aaron has faced the minimum through 4. 7-pitch inning to match what Brandon Webb did. Wednesday night, mic'd up night. Garrett Atkins, nice enough to put the mic on.
Take it, we'll take it. Looking forward to get on TV or what? but he makes it extra strong for a reason. I know, that's why you have to have a little bit of power, and then you put in some water in it to kind of balance it out.
Talking about the Powerade concoction, how to get it just,
Yep.
you know, it's like going to Starbucks. You want to get your drink just right.
Yeah, I mean, you're down in the dugout. You want it to taste good.
Fisted foul. 1-2 on Helton.
Hey, Rockies fans want to know how you can change a kid's life? Become a sports buddy. Learn more at denversportsbuddies.com. Freeway Ford proudly supports sports buddies. Check out the great car deals at cheaperfords.com. Freeway Ford and Denver Sports Buddies. It's game time.
Rockies been hoping to break out all year. They haven't had many ball games where they really produced big numbers offensively. That one game in New York where they had 20+ hits and 11 runs. And even coming home, they're 2-3 on this homestand right now. 4 runs in their last 3 ball games. But they're going to be more low-scoring games, especially inside the NL West, than we've seen in recent memory because of all the quality arms. And Webb going away, strikes out Helton.
We're just not going to see Todd Helton strike out that often. His 12th strikeout on the year. Take a look at Brandon Webb's motion. Nice front arm driving to the plate, gets the elbow up high, comes over the top and tucks that left arm in. You can see from that Exmo shot the strain on the elbow.
Ground ball to Orlando Hudson. Mabry's gone. All right, here's a quick trivia question for you. 1998, the year the Arizona Diamondbacks joined the National League. What player led them in average? I think this may have been an ex-teammate of yours. Though I may be wrong on that. Well, you got a few of them.
Yeah, you got to narrow it down just a little bit more. I'm talking about close to
west of the Mississippi ex-teammate.
Okay,
how about that?
Okay. Well, give me 30 seconds to try to think of it.
You might not have that long. Webb's working quickly. This ball lifted to right field and deep. It has a chance to get out. It will. Brad Hop lifts one over the scoreboard. Home run. Number 2 for Hop, and the Rockies lead it 2-0.
It's got to feel pretty good for Brad Hop to get his 2nd on the year. Waiting, ball behind. Brandon Webb just gets a sinker. Webb tried to go away from him. Exmo shot, nice power extension, driving off that backside and long arms. Up into the stands.
2nd career home run against Brandon Webb for Brad Hop.
Well, that's what you have to do against a guy like Brandon Webb. If he misses his spot and leaves you a mistake, you got to do something with it.
You got it! Play by Webb, low throw. I thought he was off the bag. You know what? They're going to give him the out. Tony Clark made a nice pickup, but honestly, I think he came off the bag to make the pickup. That's why you hear the boos down the right field line. They're close to that play. Here's the home run by Brad Hop to give the Rockies a 2-0 lead. Back at Coors Field, Rockies leading 2-0. Let's see if Alfonso Marquez was right or wrong on this throw to first. Well, you know what? He was right. Good play by Tony Clark. He did stay on the bag.
Well, and this will give us a better angle looking at it. Tony's 6'7", in his glove as he comes off. From the naked eye, it certainly looked like he had pulled his foot.
It's close. You got to have control of it.
Yeah, but once again, Alfonso, excuse me, was on the back side of him. As Tony comes up and shows him the glove, he has control of it.
Ball 1 on Eric Burns. Aaron Cook's been terrific.
Something you couldn't see on TV, but even in between innings, Clint Hurdle was out there asking Alfonso if He did indeed have his foot on the bag.
Burns popped to second his first time up. Eric's riding a 9-game hitting streak. Make it 10. First hit of the night for the Arizona Diamondbacks, their first base runner, leading off the 5th inning. Time now for our Kawasaki Let the Good Times Roll. Well, they've been rolling for Burnsy. 10-game hitting streak, 3 home runs, including 1 last night against Jason Hirsch. Tony Clark steps up. He hit a bouncer to Quintanilla's first time. Actually hit it hard at Quintanilla.
Well, the left-handed batter in Tony Clark, and Burnsy has a little bit of speed. Who knows if they might try to do something.
Did Quintanilla get to it?
Oh, wow.
He gets the force, and the throw is a little bit offline. That's a smart play. That's Tulowitzki's head being in the game. He knows that Tony Clark doesn't run well, and still realized he may have time to get the double play.
Well, first, let's think about the stop that Omar Quintanilla made going back up the middle. This looked like a base hit off the bat. Just dives and stretches out. By the time he gets the ball to Tulo, he made a nice try to go to first base, but his footwork doesn't allow him to get his body turned. This is just pure arm strength to try to throw it over there and get Tony Clark, and Todd Helton did a nice job coming off the bag. But what a stop from Omar just to get to that baseball and get the lead runner, exchange a fast runner for a slow runner. This dive is just a thing of beauty, all stretched out, right, catching it in the webbing of his glove. Takes him 2 or 3 seconds to just kind of gather himself. A nice toss to make sure you get the lead runner in that instance.
0-1 on Scott Hairston. The Hairston family tree has produced, Doug's put this together, 1,790 Major League Baseball games. Johnny played in 3 in 1969. Jerry Sr., Scott's dad, played in 859 games from 73 to 89. Ground ball foul. His brother, Jerry, has played in 768 games. That's an ongoing streak because he plays for Texas.
Yep.
Scott's played in 156 ball games. And then granddad Sammy played in 4 ball games back in 1951. No choice in the Hairston family.
No.
You're playing baseball. To third, past John Mabry down the left field line. Tony Clark will stride his way to third. Hairston into second with a double. So the first 2 hits against Aaron Cook in the inning. Second and third with 1 out.
Well, a sinker that was left up from Aaron Cook. John Mabry's right on the line, but this ball just goes right over the top of the bag past the diving John Mabry. Hits in the corner off the little wall where it juts out there, and Matt Holliday got it back in quickly. The Rockies ahead 2-0, 1 out. The young Mark Reynolds. The Rockies will play back. Concede a run if Reynolds is able to put the ball in play.
Would you think about putting him on? He's going to get his first RBI. He may get more than he bargained for. This is over his head. He may get 2 RBIs out of this. Here comes the tying run to the plate, and safe at home is Hairston. A 2-run double for Mark Reynolds in his first big league ball game, and he's tied it up in the 5th. I was starting to say, would you think about walking him, load the bases for Snyder, doesn't run well, you have a force all around, and then behind him you have the pitcher, but the first pitch, Reynolds smoked.
Well, he didn't even give us a chance to answer that question because he took this pitch from Aaron right down the heart of the plate and hit it over the top of Willie Taveras in dead center field as it short hopped the wall. Willie did a good job getting it back in. Strong relay throw just off the mark, just a little bit from Troy on the first base side. Hairston runs well. Tough when you're that far out as a shortstop to make the throw all the way to home on the one hop right on the plate. It just, Troy got it on the glove side a little bit too much. But to get back to your point, no, I wouldn't have, because he's a rookie. Even knowing what I know now, I would not have put him on.
Chris Snyder at the plate. Those are the tough decisions that managers have to make. And you know what? Part of what's not factored in also is, pitch execution.
Yeah.
I'm sure Aaron's upset with himself. He left the pitch up a couple of times now in this inning. One to Hairston in particular, and then the one to Reynolds.
About the only other thing you could have done is move the infield in about halfway to put a little bit more pressure on him, to think, oh, I've got to try to get this ball elevated. A lot more thoughts going through your head. But being up 2-0, it's the safe thing, if you will, is just go ahead and play back. If he hits a ground ball, he knocks in a run, you're still ahead 2-1 with 2 outs. Well, that was mute when he hit the ball over the top of Willie Taveras in center field.
1-2 on Snyder with Webb on deck. 2-2 in the 5th. Snyder doing most of the catching this year for Arizona. Miguel Montero is backup. No swing.
Talk about certain points in the ballgame needing a strikeout. And this would be a nice opportunity for Aaron to get a strikeout of Chris Snyder. Then you have the pitcher and Brandon Webb following him. So now Snyder gets on, then Webb could go ahead and bunt, and then there's 2 outs leading to the top of the order and Chris Young.
3-2, ground ball to short, and it's just a poor base running play by the rookie Reynolds. Crossed in front of the baseball, and he's thrown out by Troy Tulowitzki. So he'll get pats on the back for driving in 2 with the double, and then he'll Orlando Hudson the first over to him. I'm sure Bob Melvin will discuss that play with him.
Over aggressiveness, the rule of thumb, when the ball is hit in front of you, you don't go, and he just forgot that rule, got caught up in the excitement of his first double, first couple RBIs. One rookie threw out another rookie.
And Webb hits it to Tulowitzki, and the throw goes past Helton. He couldn't come up with it. And Troy will pick up an error, and Brandon Webb reaches, and going to third base is Snyder. He realized, watching Tulowitzki, he realized he had Webb running, he had time, and he double clutched on the throw, trying to get a little more momentum, and it all backfired.
Well, as he was going towards third base, the ball was just out of the reach of John Mabry coming right in front of him, and he did double clutch. Once you go back in there, it's really difficult to then get a grip on the baseball. And Todd was expecting that ball to come up, and it just skipped underneath him.
4th error on Tulowitzki this year. He's done a very good job defensively. That play aside, Chris Young, and Young pops it up, and the Rockies will not be hurt by the error. The Diamondbacks come up with a couple of runs. Mark Reynolds just up from Double-A Mobile with a 2-run double. We're all even. Well, Mark Reynolds with a 2-run double. battling the nerves in his first major league game. He's already got something to tell the folks afterward. I'm sure they're looking in. Aaron Cook was perfect till the 5th inning. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. And we start over again in the bottom of the 5th. Webb and Cook. Omar Quintanilla, then Cook and Willie Taveras. All right, I asked you, as that first pitch is in there for a strike. In '98, who led the Diamondbacks in hitting that year? Any idea?
None.
Devo. Did you play with him? Line drive at Orlando Hudson.
No, I did.
You didn't play with Devon White? I wasn't sure if you overlapped there. Against him.
Yep.
Okay. 279 average. Devo led him in everything. 32 doubles, 85 RBIs, runs scored 84, stolen bases 22. Hits. Affleck trivia question: what is the fewest number of wins for a starting pitcher who won the Cy Young Award in a non-strike year?
What's your guess?
It's a trick question because it's supposed to involve Webb with 16, but you have to remember that relievers have won the award.
Oh, see, that's why you get the big bucks. Because
I
I was thinking Brandon Webb was 16.
That's what I was thinking initially, and I'm saying, you know what? I know how Susan Lom works these things. She wanted to get me. Did it say starting pitcher? Hold on, now we got to see the question. It said starting pitcher. So I'm contradicting myself. I'm going with Webb, 16.
You're out thinking yourself.
I am. I was gonna say Mark Davis with San Diego. And the answer is fewest number of wins for a starting pitcher.
Won the Cy Young Award. Oh,
We're right. That was easy. Come on, Susan.
challenge us, please.
There's been some 17-game winners. Randy Johnson in 1999, 17-9, won it. Pedro Martinez in 97 went 17-8 with a 190. Fernando Valenzuela in a strike year with 13-7. 94 was a strike year. Greg Maddux and David Cohen had 16 wins each. In 84, Rick Sutcliffe went 16-1 with the Cubs, but 4-5 with Cleveland before he was traded. There were a bunch of pitchers last year in the National League who finished with 16 wins. Carlos Zambrano, John Smoltz, Derek Lowe, Brad Penny, Aaron Harang, all won 16.
Aaron Harang.
In fact, Harang led the league in strikeouts, tied for the league lead in wins, and did not get one Cy Young vote. He's the first pitcher since they started giving out the award to lead his league in wins and strikeouts and not win it. Much less not get a vote.
Not get a single vote.
Yeah. 3-2. Good eye by Willie. Willie's 2 for 2 in the game. The only other Rockies hit, a home run by Brad Hopp in the 4th inning.
Really had to call timeout, bug in his face. Make sure there are no distraction as that ball's coming in at you about 88, 90 miles an hour.
All right, who led the Diamondbacks in home runs back in '98, that first season? Devon White. I mean, you just say Devon White to everything and you're going to be right. But it was
Travis
shared.
Lee.
You're right. Travis Lee and Devon White both had 22 home runs. Remember they gave him $10 million,
Yes.
Travis Lee? That didn't work out. To second, Orlando Hudson to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Webb. 2-2 baseball game. We're heading to inning number 6. 2-2 baseball game. Quickly go to the Rockies dugout and check in with the manager, Clint Hurdle, as we do every Wednesday night. This is kind of what you sign up for, Clint, when you have Cook and Webb, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. You know, they're making pitches. We scratched a couple off him. I think Cookie, the one pitch he'd like to have back is the pitch he made to Reynolds there. He got it up over the plate, but got a lot of ball game in front of us.
Clint, very quickly again with Reynolds. He's a rookie, second at bat up from Double-A. Any thought to loading the bases with Snyder and trying to induce a double play, or not in that situation?
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way. You look at going at a young kid that maybe you can take advantage of a little bit. He just needs to make a better pitch right there.
You bet. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Well, that's up and in, and it gets Stephen Drew. So Stephen Drew goes to first, leading off the 6th inning.
It came up and in, really caught more of the jersey than it got any flesh off Stephen Drew as it pulls his jersey out of his pants, has to rebutton it.
You know what? That's a Ron Hunt. Look at it. He undressed him. That's a Ron Hunt special. For those folks that have been watching baseball a long time, the former Cub who one year got hit 50 times. He used to wear, I mean, Ron Hunt wasn't a big guy, but he wore like a quadruple XL.
For that reason right there.
Stood right over the plate. And he got hit 50 times and didn't have a bruise on his body.
Well, Stephen Drew still doesn't have his jersey tucked all the way in. There's a button that's not a button towards the bottom.
Let's take a look at our Esurance inside information. What do we have tonight? Every player with a plate appearance last night was charged with an at-bat. There were no walks, no sacrifice bunts, no sacrifice flies, nobody hit by a pitch. Last night was only the 4th game that the Rockies have ever played where there were no walks in the ball game.
How about that?
Our Esurance inside information. (2-0) on Orlando Hudson, in a little bit of a funk right now. 3 for his last 30.
He carried the Diamondbacks for so long, you knew it wasn't going to happen forever. He has been that heart and soul hitting out of the 3rd spot for the D-backs all year long. The fans this Friday, the 18th, against the Kansas City Royals. The first 5,000 fans through the gates will receive the Player of the Homestand jersey T-shirt, courtesy of Coors and Rocky Mountain News. Vote for the Player of the Homestand online at ColoradoRockies.com. The 28 men were sent to the plate last night.
And it's happened before to the Rockies, where they got one hitter over the minimum. Last time it happened to him, Randy Johnson was on the hill.
Back in '03.
Drew going, smoked up the middle. Knocked down by Cook. It came out of his glove. If he holds on to it, it's an easy double play.
The Diamondbacks started Stephen Drew at first, and Orlando Hudson hit it so hard, but it was kind of sinking as it came back to Aaron Cook. Had a glove on it. Just some momentum of the baseball just trickled out at the last second. He catches that double play. 2 out, nobody on.
Those are the little things in baseball. There's no fault involved. Obviously, Cook made a great play just to stab it. Stays in his glove. You get 2 outs. It doesn't, and now you have a runner in scoring position with Burns at the plate. He's fooled badly there. Boy, Burns spoke glowingly last night of Jason Hirsch. He said his changeup is filthy, and he said, you know, with that fastball, he's got that downhill plane because he's 6'8". He was very impressed with Jason Hirsch.
And he was working ahead with that fastball, and then that helped everything else with that changeup. There's no shame in what Jason Hirsch did last night. 8 innings, 4 strikeouts, 7 hits. 96, 98 pitches. Pretty good outing.
You know who else was impressed with Hirsch last night? We walked out of the booth and turned to our right, and our old friend Mark Grace, who we work with sometimes during spring training. His first comment was he said Hirsch has got toughness. He
Yeah.
said I like him a lot.
Well, and you can tell when a guy's out there competing and battling. When you get a comment like that from a guy like Mark Grace, who battles and is one of those guys also, pretty high marks.
Burns, you don't have to hold it there anymore. They didn't call strike on you.
We saw it last night. He did the same thing last night. Held it there for about 10 seconds. I think he's just showing how strong he is, that he can check his swing at any time.
One and two with one out. Stephen Drew's at second base. And this is punched to right. Drew gets a green light. Hop is up with the baseball. Now Drew scrambles back to third. Chip Hale had him round and then stopped him about a third of the way down. Out of respect for Brad Hop. And good pitch,
Yeah.
bad result.
And Aaron put it out there, and Burnsy was just able to just punch it basically as his backside is going towards the dugout. All his weight and momentum's out on the front side, just pops it and drops it into right field. Stephen Drew got a good jump at second base, but Chip Hale the whole way, realizing that Brad Hop's going to make the strong throw, has to hold Stephen Drew up at first. I mean, at third, excuse me.
Double play candidate Tony Clark. And Rockies will get out of the inning. 6-4-3. Tony Clark hit the sinker from Aaron Cook right at Tulowitzki. Still locked up at 2 apiece, middle of 6. It's at Coors. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off for the Rockies. 2, 3, and 4 against Brandon Webb. And he gets a curveball for a strike. And Webb's been good. Cook's been good.
This is the matchup we thought it was going to be. This is the one we thought we would see on opening day as well. Two sinker ball pitchers that are just going out there pounding the strike zone. Brandon's throwing 65 pitches, 47 of them for strikes.
Tulowitzki hits it to center field. Chris Young territory, 1 out.
You have this summer's big ticket. The New York Yankees visit Coors Field June 19th through the 21st. Tickets are going quickly, so get yours today. Purchase your tickets at Coors Field, any King Soopers or Rockies dugout store, or by calling 1-800-388-ROCK or online at ColoradoRockies.com.
There was a piece in the paper today, and forgive me, I don't remember if it was the Rocky Mountain News or the Denver Post. I'll give you the byline also. I can't recall, on Matt Holliday's defense this year. And I thought it was well deserved because we watch every game, Huey, and Matt's defense is vastly improved from a year ago. His routes to the baseball are better. His throws more accurate. His jumps are better.
I think he just wants to become a complete player, and one way to do it is to work on that sort of stuff during batting practice, and that's the only way you get better, is taking balls off the bat, trying to get better reads. Well, you know his offense is going to be there.
We know he can do that.
Yeah.
And Holliday trying to take advantage, and he's safe at second. Matt Holliday with a leg double. Caught the 2 outfielders napping a little bit. And Matt Holliday taking advantage. That's huge in the 6th inning in a tie baseball game.
Well, and this is just something that you can't really teach. It's just something that happens. What also helps is that Chris Young is in right center field. Matt knows this as soon as this ball is hit, that he's going to be running and busting hard out of the box, seeing as he's hitting first base where the outfielder is in relationship to where he is as he turns the bag. And the head first slide gets him in there.
Let me correct something. You know what? That actually was a good play by the outfielder.
It was.
Initially, I thought that they didn't go after it as hard as they could have just assumed a single, but let me correct that. Chris Young did go after it hard, so did Scott Hairston. And that was just in a place where if you have speed like Holiday and you're running the whole way, you can get a double out of it. So a good play all around. Good play defensively to get to the baseball and try to throw him out, and a good job by Matt Holiday. So I apologize to Hairston and Young.
You know, at first that's the way it looked, that those guys were just going at it. But the way that the Diamondbacks had Matt positioned, and Scotty was closer to the left field line, and they were taking away the right center field gap, was Chris Young. And he had to travel a long way just to go get that baseball.
This is on the ground to second. Holiday crosses to third with 2 outs. John Mabry 0 for 2. Board on a fielder's choice and a ground ball to second.
Clint Hurdle's trying to get John Mabry untracked. And part of the reason was he was starting tonight, his numbers, and you mentioned against Brandon Webb, but also to try to get him going. He had 129 coming into the ball game, he had 121 now. Certainly not numbers that John Mabry wants. 1 for 21 pinch hitting, but eventually you got to start getting some hits, getting that average up.
(3-0).
Take a look at Brandon Webb. 24 pitches in that first when the Rockies scored 1 run, but after that he's been lights out. 9-7, 9, 13, and 12 for a total of 74. And brought to you by Sonic.
Usually with Brandon Webb, it's like you described in the 2nd through the 5th inning. You run out to your position, and you're still a little bit out of breath when you're running in because you weren't out there that long.
And he works quickly too. That's the other thing. I mean, he's out there just working and working.
Second walk allowed as Mabry goes to first. So first and third with Brad Hopp coming up.
Let's take a look at the outfielders' arms for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Scotty Harrison is average across the board with his strength and his accuracy. Chris Young in center field, we've seen him. He can go get it alley to alley, and he's average as well. And then Eric Burns in right field. Just a gamer, will get dirty. He can also throw a little bit. All this has been brought to you by Franklin D. Azar and Associates. Injured in an accident? Call Franklin D. Azar and Associates. One call, that's all.
Jamie Carroll's come on to pinch run for John Mabry, and he'll stay in the ball game at third base. Our Sonic good replay of the ball game. Brad Hopp. Rockies ahead 1-0, 4th inning. Hopp against Webb, and he hit it into the seats in right field. Hopp's so strong. We watched that on replay a couple times. He didn't get that on the fat part of the bat.
No, but his extension being 6'3", 6'4" allows him to hit the ball a little bit further than somebody else. And even though that ball got towards the trademark just a little bit, he had the strength and the leverage and the length to hit that ball up into the seats.
Two balls and a strike. We're going to slow it down for you, the home run swing.
And this is what's neat. You talked about it, partner. Not quite getting it on the barrel, right in this area right here instead of this sweet spot out in here. But he's still strong enough that he's able to hit it with enough force to hit it over the wall.
On the corner, 2-2.
The Rockies can come through with the big hit so far tonight. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Last night, for both teams, there was only 4 at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Well, with 3-2, 2 outs, Jamie Carroll just has to make sure that Brandon Webb delivers the baseball home. And And Tony Clark's going to take it out of his hands, play halfway behind him. Gives Jamie an extra couple steps if the ball is hit in the gap to try to score.
Hop hits it well to left field. Hairston going back, still going back, and it is gone. 3-run home run. Brad Hop to the opposite field. Rockies have been waiting for Brad Hop to show that power stroke, and he's got it tonight. 5-2 Colorado. How large was that?
Wow. We just mentioned it. How nice would it be to come through with a hit with runners in scoring position? Now they're 1 for 6. Classic left-handed swing. Brad did a good job. That back foot actually went out. Take a look at the Exmo. We mentioned it last time, hitting the ball this way. Now he's got it out here on the sweet spot. And oh man, what a sweet swing it was.
And this one caught me by surprise because, you know, Brad Hop last year hit 22 home runs for the Colorado Rockies, drove in 84. That's his first multi-home run game.
That's amazing. Let's take a look at it again. We talk about his hands and everything. Watch his back foot go this way. You don't see a guy's foot go that way and then be able to hit the ball out to left field with some kind of power like Brad did.
Strong dude. First career multi-home run game, and he's tied his career high with 4 RBIs. Johnson, and Ionetta's safe at first. That's probably got to go as an infield hit. It will.
And that's where it should, but a guy like Mark Reynolds not really understanding who is running, makes a nice pick on the backhand and tries to throw off the run. He had an opportunity to set his feet, tried to throw all the way across his body. Take a look right there. He had an opportunity to stop, gather himself, make the strong throw. He still had Chris Ionetta 15-20 feet from third base. But that's just youth, inexperience, not knowing the league, not knowing a runner.
By the way, Huey, that home run by Hop, that's the third now in a little more than a week that I was worried about, you know, an umpire saying, wait a second, what did he hit? It came back on the field to double.
Well, but the only difference, though, is here that the Rockies have the yellow line. I think that helps the umpires somewhat.
They had the yellow line in Cincinnati. It didn't help.
Well, that ball, but there's the thing, though. That ball went so high in the air. Physics tells you that it was a home run.
That's what I was saying. Didn't tell Tom Hallion that night that it was a home run. Brad Hop with a 3-run opposite field home run. They give the Rockies a 5-2 lead against Brandon Webb and the D-backs. Hop, 2 home run night, 4 ribbies for Hop. Tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Chiefs running back Larry Johnson and 2-time national champions, the Florida Gators, Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, tonight at 11 p.m. only on FSN. Nice ball game for the Rockies right fielder.
Not bad.
Jamie Carroll stays in the ball game naturally at third base.
Couple home runs, 4 RBIs.
And it's a huge home run, obviously, because the ball game's tied. But a 2-home run night against the premier sinker baller in baseball.
And it's got to give you some confidence, and that's what this game's about. It's confidence in yourself and in your ability. Clint Hurdles decided to go for the defense, putting Jamie Carroll at third base after pinch running for John Mabry last inning.
He had a premonition that Hop was going to hit one out.
This Sunday, the 20th, against the Royals, the first 20,000 fans through the gates will receive a travel bag sponsored by Frontier Airlines. Purchase your tickets at any Rockies ticket outlet or online at ColoradoRockies.com.
There's Brandon Metters firing.
for Aaron's got the 3-run lead. The 7th inning. He's only thrown 81 pitches so far. Bottom half of the lineup. Everything's set up pretty nicely for the Rockies.
Hairston got drilled on the hand. Tell you what, initially that pain, as you know, makes you want to, you know what,
yeah,
for a couple seconds.
Not too good. You're trying to take deep breath. Just on the hand, there's just no meat, nothing to protect yourself. The ball traveling in there at 92 miles an hour. Hairston dives just a little bit, opens himself up. Most guys like to try to tuck, but that ball was running in so hard on him. It just came up and got him flush on the bone of his wrist.
There's so many small bones in the hand.
There is, and Aaron's done a nice job. We talk about 15 pitches per inning, 11 in the first, 15, 8, 17, and only 12 last inning in the 6th. All of this has been brought to you by Sonic.
And Scott's going to stay in the ball game.
We'll have to check on him in another inning or so to see how it's feeling, if it's swollen. My feeling in this instance right there, Scotty Hairston has good speed. There's no reason to take him out unless he actually thought he wouldn't be able to run. He has a good speed. Now you'll have to wait to see if he can go out and play defense next time or come up to hit later on in the ball game.
Mark Reynolds doubled in the 2 Diamondback runs. He's at the plate, and he's got himself another hit. What a debut for Reynolds. Here's Hairston going to third. Throw there, not in time, and Reynolds stays at first base. First and third, nobody out. Tying run coming up.
The kid certainly hasn't disappointed the Diamondbacks so far with this evening.
Well, Clint Hurdle's coming out. He's not going to wait around.
Talk about his swing, and it's another ball that he got in on him. That's the first place you try to touch it. Test a guy.
5-2 Colorado back after this. So Aaron Cook goes 6+ innings. He's removed in favor of Ramon Ramirez, who returns to the fray. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. So Ramon Ramirez, who's been out for a while.
Yeah, he's missed his last 23 games, was reinstated last night, prior to last night's game. 4 of his 7 appearances have been against the Diamondbacks. 4 innings and giving up only 1 hit.
Fouled off. Let's look at that play again. The throw from Matt Holliday to Jamie Carroll trying to get Scott Hairston. And Hairston was clearly in there, but what, Scott comes up off the bag, tag, and there was a little daylight. He may have been out.
He might have been, and Jamie did a good job of holding that tag on there so Rick Reed could get a second look at it.
Nice pitch there. It's 0-2 on Snyder. Rockies bullpen hopefully getting a boost with the return of Ramon Ramirez, the addition of Jorge Julio, with Troy Hawkins maybe back in less than a week.
We just want LaTroy to throw in a couple back-to-back games to see how he responds to it. This is the way Clint kind of envisioned the whole thing. Getting Ramon Ramirez back in the mix. The 7th and 8th inning. You have Manny Corpus for the 8th, and then of course Bryant for the 9th.
Swung on and missed. Big strike out there. 1 out.
And this is what Ramon can do. He can throw that hard slider, just get it to chase it, going away from Snyder. Tell Chris's body motion, whenever you get that far out on your front side, really you have no option but to try to wave at it, hopefully foul it off, but the ball kept running away from him. Dax out there talking to Ramon.
We're showing you the scoreboard, Huey. It's 6-0 Philadelphia over Milwaukee. Milwaukee lost 2 or 3 in New York. They got beat yesterday by Philadelphia. They're getting shut out tonight. But the story there, Cole Hamels just walked Ricky Weeks leading off the 7th inning to ruin his perfect game. He still obviously has a no-hitter in the 7th inning. We'll keep you abreast of that one. And now we're being told J.J. Hardy just hit a 2-run homer. Hardy's unbelievable. Yeah, his 12th home run of the year. So the no-hitter gone, perfect game gone, and the shutout's gone. Actually, it's his 13th home run.
He's got to be one of the early leaders for MVP in the National League.
Miguel Montero, the backup catcher, the only lefty on the bench, is the pinch hitter. And if you're at home saying, whoa, wait a second, what's Bob Melvin doing? What if Snyder gets hurt? Well, Bob's got that taken care of because he has a guy that's very versatile in Robbie Hammock, who used to be a full-time catcher.
Now he's more of a utility guy, but Miguel's 3 for 6 with 1 home run already on the year as a pinch hitter.
Line drive center field, and it's gloved by Taveras. Here comes the throw to the plate, and Todd's going to cut it off. Sac fly by Montero, and Scott Hairston scores the 3rd run for Arizona. That'll be charged to Aaron Cook. Chris Young with a 7-game hitting streak on the line comes up. He's 0 for 3. Hit the ball to the outfield twice and also popped to second.
So far the Rockies have done a pretty good job pitching to Chris Young. Throwing him a lot more off-speed pitches tonight, keeping him off balance. Wow. Pretty good pitch from Ramon, 94 mile an hour.
25-year-old Ramon Ramirez. Before he was injured, the league was just 3 for 19 against him. Left field long run for Holiday. Matt's going to get there. That's what we were talking about earlier. He's got much better jumps on the baseball this year than last year. Playing a good left field. 5-3 Colorado. Middle of 7th. Stretch time at Coors Field. 5-3 Colorado. Bottom of the 7th inning. Brad Hopp, the hitting star today. Garrett Atkins is going to tell you more about it.
MVP. Huh? Think it didn't? Get him hot? Let's go, Hopper. Yeah, Holder. Said the outfielders would have played it. Yeah. They didn't even make, none of them made a signal. Yeah, he didn't, huh? No, neither of them, neither umpire. What? That way, Hoppy.
All right. Thank you, Garrett Atkins. New catchers Miguel Montero. New pitchers Brandon Metters. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
Brandon Metters has kind of slid down in Bob Melvin's rotation for coming into the ball game.
And the reason being
is just one giant number right here, folks, at 8 home runs. Look at that, 8 home runs. These are major leagues as far as a reliever is concerned.
1-0 to Jeff Baker, pinch hit, and Baker rips it up the middle. So Baker pinch hitting for Ramon Ramirez, whistles a single to center.
Bake's 4th pinch hit in 13 plate appearances. A nice job from Ramon coming off the DL last night. First action in a long time.
Tavares fouls off the bunt attempt. Brandon Webb goes 6 innings, allows 5 runs. All of them earned. No, excuse me, the first run wasn't earned. 4 runs were earned. 6 hits, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. Now, should a run be earned if you were the man to commit the error?
Whoa. No. No, because, I mean, just part of the game. That's just the way it's scored.
No,
I understand your point of view,
yeah.
though. If you're a pitcher, you make an error. It should be an earned run because you cost it.
It's going to stay fair, and they're going to get Tavares. Nobody's covering third, and they're going to get the runner at third base. Baker trying to go to third. Nobody was at the bag, but Arizona recovered in time. And the Diamondbacks get 2 outs on the base paths.
Well, you knew Willie was going to lay down the bunt. As everybody comes in, freezer right here. You got the catcher, third baseman, the pitcher. There's nobody over in this area. So as Jeff Baker is running around second base, he's realizing that the only way that play did not work for the Rockies is Miguel Montero saw what was happening and was able to get down to third base, because the pitcher wasn't going to get there, and neither was the third baseman in Reynolds. So
that's the catcher's bag.
That is a catcher's bag, and that's the way you make the rotation. A lot of times catchers, though, will fall asleep. They'll see that play, but Miguel was smart enough to realize nobody's there. I got a bust to get down there.
2-0. Everybody thinks a catcher just hangs out behind the plate. Once it gets hit, watches. No, ground ball. He's got to bust his tail up and back up first base. And in that situation, when the third baseman makes a fielding play on a bunt with a runner going to second, he's got to get to third.
Yeah, and Jamie Quirk's talking to Jeff Baker about that play.
Tulowitzki with a base hit. Well, what do you think? I mean, good play or bad play? You don't make the first or third out at third base. He was trying to be aggressive.
Well, now you say it's a bad play because Tulo got the base hit. Maybe we would have driven in a run. But you're right. I don't mind the aggressiveness. You're up by 2 runs. He saw a play that in front of him. Nobody was there. It was a bang-bang play at third base. That happens sometimes. I don't want to take the aggressiveness away from a player and turn them into robots.
And that's one of the things that the Rockies stated in spring training, is that first pitch is down to Matt Holliday for a ball, that they wanted to be more aggressive on the base pass. And they certainly have a couple of guys up top when Kaz Matsui's healthy to be more aggressive. Matsui and, of course, Willie Tavares.
It's really a calculated gamble. It's not something that you just say, go, I'm going to just try to run to get to third base. No, he saw that there was nobody there. He thought he could beat him in a foot race. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Tulowitzki at first with a 1-1 count on Holliday. Rockies up 5-3, bottom of 7.
Let's not forget what Tony Clark has done, though. I mean, that was a throw from the third baseman to first base, and then actually was able to throw back across. Actually, it was Hudson, excuse me. I was saying that Tony Clark's play earlier in the ball game, getting the run at home. With the rotation, it was Orlando Hudson.
Yeah, Clark's
he was crashing in. Hudson made the strong throw over there. That's why the guys won Gold Gloves, not only for and being able to turn the double play, but being able to make that strong throw all the way back across the diamond.
Metters right now treating Tulowitzki like he's Vince Coleman.
Yeah, with Matt Holliday, I think you want to be concerned with the guy that has the lumber out at up at the plate.
I want to point something out also on that play. It is a sacrifice bunt for Willie Taveras. He did his job. The out came at third base. Turns into a double play, but not a conventional double play. It's a sacrifice. 5-4-2 is the scoring. Taveras does not get charged at bat. Tulowitzki's, as they say in baseball, a solid average runner.
Well, and you can tell why Brandon Metters has been struggling, because all his attention is divided to the guy at first base when he's scared to throw the pitch to home.
And ball 4. I mean, all that work trying to keep Tulowitzki close. Tulowitzki, and we'll see what he develops into. He's not a huge stolen base threat.
No, but then,
and he ends up walking Holliday, and now Helton's coming up, and guess what? Metters is out of the ball game. They're going to go to Slate, and we're going to go to break. 5-3, Colorado. It's at the track or at Bandamere.com. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. There are 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Tulowitzki at second, Holliday at first. And Todd Helton is due up, and he's going to face the lone left-hander in the Arizona bullpen, Doug Slayton, on for the 15th time this year. He has one official at bat, does Helton, against Slayton. And he has a base hit.
Yeah, and that 229 average, that's combined, but left-handers are only hitting 174, 4 for 23 off Slayton.
Rockies trying to add on here in the bottom of the 7th. Has to turn out of the way of that pitch. It's 1-0. Crowd oohs and ahs, but it was a breaking pitch.
It was just a slaughter curveball, 78 miles an hour, that just didn't do anything. Stayed right there. Todd ducked and got out of the way, brought his bat back so he didn't get a foul ball.
There's a strike, 1-1. Jamie Carroll is on deck. Came into the game, the pinch run for John Mabry, stayed in at third.
Juan Cruz is warming up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. This is the only hitters that Slayton faces.
1-2. We looked this up yesterday. Helton sees the 4th most pitches in baseball. In other words, his at-bats, and in Todd's case, typically go around 4.5 pitches.
That's because he could foul off pitches that nobody else can. Most guys are done with their at-bat before then.
There's one. He's usually up there, and it's, you know what, it's going to be a 2 sandwich at bat. So he's 4.29. The league average is 3.77.
That's because he can almost hit the ball when it's in the catcher's glove for a foul ball till he gets the pitch he wants to hit.
He might as well bring like a
lunch pail.
Yeah, picnic basket and something to drink. Left field and in foul ground. Burns, who's now in left field. So Hairston has come out of the ball game.
Yeah.
You need to make note of that. Burns runs into the wall. Is the wall okay?
Well, we talked about Scotty Hairston, checking on him in the next half inning to see how he felt. Obviously, that wrist is hurting, and Carlos Quentin in right field now with Burnsy moving to left.
And now they're officially telling the press box that even the Diamondback folks didn't catch that one.
Well, it just happens sometimes in between innings at the last second. A guy will have to go out there. The player says he can't go.
Elton struck out by Slayton. They have to get the out at first, and Montero does so. In the inning, the Rockies had a couple of hits and a walk, couldn't produce a run. It's 5-3. Rockies ahead 5-3. We go to the top of the 8th inning. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. Well, new pitcher for the Rockies. Their 8th inning man, Manny Corpus, when they're on the plus side. They are right now, up by a couple of runs.
Well, just like you'd like to diagram it if you were Clint Hurdle, be able to bring Ramon in the 7th, Manny in the 8th, and hold the 2-run lead. He's tossed 3 2/3 scoreless innings over his last 4 appearances. The opponents are only hitting 154 against him during that time.
Strike 1 on Stephen Drew. Drew 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Nice shot by Ramon Ramirez in his return.
It was nice to see him come back and then just throw strikes and work ahead. Not like we saw last year from Ramon. Throwing pretty good. It touched 94 with that fastball. Had the sharp slider.
Had to please that man a lot. I mean, he's...
Well, the bullpen struggles the last 2 or 3 weeks has been well documented. It's nice to get some of your guys healthy and back in their roles.
And the Rockies have had better pitch games lately from their starters. Cook was very good tonight. Yesterday, Jason Hirsch.
That's kind of how the pen shakes out now. Tommy and Zach are the long guys, and then Jorge Julio, who we have not seen yet. See some action soon.
And Corpus strikes out Stephen Drew.
Talk about pitch speed from Manny Corpus. You know, it started out kind of slow, 77, then boom, 94, 95. All of that brought to you by Panasonic Plasma.
Orlando Hudson 0 for 3. Orlando 3 for his last 31. And 3 for his last 32.
We're going to see Coors Field all the time, but if you would like to take a tour of Coors Field, see the places you can't visit during a game, including the dugout, visitors clubhouse, and press box. Guided tours for groups and individuals are available Monday through Saturday. For tickets and information, please call 303-ROCKIES.
How about one more stat on Ramon Ramirez? He's now been in 8 games this year. 5 been against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, and that just happens in the first week of the season when the D-backs played here, and then the Rockies traveled to
6 games against the Diamondbacks, and then he got hurt.
Then he went on the DL for 23 games.
Burns takes a strike. The thing you really like, Cook throwing a lot of strikes tonight. Hirsch, after walking 6, made a little mechanical change. Shoulder plane. He felt like he was moving side to side instead of kind of north and south and driving toward the plate. And it made a difference. Didn't walk a batter last night. The Rockies have not walked a batter in 16 2/3. Last batter they walked was Sunday in the 6th inning, and Kevin Franson walked.
Well, and you can't defense a walk. You say it all the time, but when the Rockies are leading the National League in fielding percentage, why not take advantage of it?
Yep.
And it goes all the way back to your 7- and 8-year-old kids when they're throw strikes. Easier said than done sometimes, but it's the nature of the game.
When Corpus, like any pitcher's living down there, he's really tough. 94 miles an hour on that fastball. And we always say we get caught up with the MPH, with the radar gun, but his fastball's got a lot of movement on it.
And it's late. And we talk about late movement, and that happens in the last 10 to 12 feet, almost where the dirt area starts.
Easy play for Jamie Carroll. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning for Manny Corpus. 5-3 Colorado. Carroll will lead it off, and then Hop, the big gun tonight. Rockies 5, Arizona Diamondbacks 3. Brad Hop, 2 home runs tonight, 4 RBIs. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman, back at Coors Field. In the bottom of the 8th, Jamie Carroll, Brad Hop, and Chris Iannetta to face Juan Cruz. Cruz just coming off the disabled list as well.
Well, the well-traveled Juan Cruz with the Cubs, with the Oakland A's, the Atlanta Braves. Spent the last 18 games on the DL prior to coming off on May 11th. Last pitch against the Houston Astros, tossing a couple scoreless innings on the 12th.
Cruz, not very big, listed at about 160 pounds, 6'1", but he's got to whip it for an arm.
The slender frame gets it all going, and it's just something you can't teach, his arm speed.
1-1 on Jamie Carroll.
It's been a question with Juan Cruz. Does he fit better in the bullpen or as a starter? Where does he fit in that mix? And I don't think anybody really found out. He's kind of settled in somewhat with the Diamondbacks in their relief role, coming in the 7th and 8th inning.
Rockies will be in Phoenix next week. First part of the week, play a 3-game set, then they'll go to San Francisco for 3. And after playing at Arizona next week, they won't see the Diamondbacks till the end of August.
How about that? You get them all done early in the season, then you go for 3 months and don't see them.
Have a nice summer.
Yeah.
2-2 on Carroll. 3-2. Royals are in here beginning Friday. Buddy Bell's team.
First weekend of interleague play.
Yeah, and the Rockies see the Royals a couple times during spring training because Royals play in the Cactus League as well. 3-2 on Jamie, and he's gone. Let's take a look at our Valero plays of the day. Valero energy to take you anywhere. 4th inning. Brad Hop in a 1-0 game against Brandon Webb into the seats and right. 6th inning, 2 off. Line drive just did get over the wall. A 3-run jack for Hop, his first career 2-homer ball game. 4 ribbies tonight. Valero, high energy plays of the day. And here's our Quest Spirit of Service in-game box. Willie Taveras doing his thing again up top. You know, he's been really good after a slow start. He's on base all the time. And Hop, out of the 6-hole tonight, has provided the Rockies with all they need. 2-0. Brad has his first 2-home-run game. Well, might as well get the 3-homer game out of the way.
Well, he's hit one.
Why not?
He's hit one to right field, one to left field. The only thing better now would be to hit one to dead center field.
With 4 RBIs, Brad's done that in a game now 6 times. Eric Burns in left field.
Every Sunday home game from May 20th through July 29th is youth baseball day at Coors Field. Packages include a pregame parade around the warning track. Make your little leaguer feel like a big leaguer. Call 303 Rockies to learn more.
Chris Iannetta, an infield hit in the 6th.
Looking towards the 9th inning. Brian coming in. The Diamondbacks will have Tony Clark, Carlos Quentin, and the young rookie Mark Reynolds.
He's had a big night in his major league debut. With Rick Matthews looking on, Brian Fuentes getting ready to go for the 9th inning. Fuentes will be trying to hit double digits in saves. He's 9 for 10.
Including his last 7 straight. Well, excuse me, last 5 straight in his last 7 games.
Iannetta struck out, and Cruz works a 1-2-3-8. We go to the 9th inning. Rockies 5, Diamondbacks 3. Here comes Brian Fuentes. Low fares farther. Visit SouthwestAirlines.com. Rockies leading 5-3. Let's go to the studio, the Chevy Sports Desk, and Tim Ring. Tim?
All right, Drew, coming up right after the game, the Chevy postgame report. We're going to take you inside the Rockies clubhouse here from manager Clint Hurdle. Also, Brad Hopp, perhaps a breakout game. We'll have a conversation with the Rockies right fielder. Roger Bailey and Eric Hillman in studio tonight in light of Mark Reynolds' first ever Major League hit and RBI tonight for Arizona. Those two guys will reflect on their first Major League hits and Major League wins. Talk about what a feeling it is. Drew, back to you.
All right, Tim. Brian Fuentes ready to go for the 19th time this year. All you need to know about him is that the league's hitting 167 against him. That's not very good.
Not very good, and the 12 strikeouts to only 3 walks is another pretty impressive number. Last pitched on Saturday, threw 7 pitches in his 9th inning. Wasn't a safe situation, but he's been pretty solid in his last 7 innings. Holding opposition scoreless.
Diamondbacks, and you want to keep it this way, 13 straight games where they've scored 4 runs or less. And they're staring at 14. Tony Clark will lead it off from the right side. And then Carlos Quentin in the ball game now for Scott Hairston. He got hit by a pitch, stayed in the game at least for half an inning, then departed. Clark's got 1 out.
Always nice to get that first out in the 9th inning with the 2-run lead. Clark was 2 for 4 before that at bat against Brian. You can tell Brian's the way he was going to attack Tony Clark was not to give him anything hard. Everything was soft. 71-mile-an-hour curveball, got him out front, ground ball, 1 out. Carlos Quentin 0 for 2 just came into the ball game an inning or so ago.
I think last night I said Quentin was from Stanford. Excuse me, from Cal. He's from Stanford, and you know, out there you don't want to mix the two up.
Yeah. You don't want to get
Connor
those
Jackson went to Cal. Quentin went to Stanford. Those two don't even talk. They have to put opposite, you know, lockers on one end of the locker room.
And they don't even sit next to each other in the dugout.
No, never said a word to one another. Here's the 2-0. Folks, we're only kidding.
Yes. I'm sure there's some good nature gribbing.
Yeah, but generally speaking, a Cardinal and a Bear don't get along.
Not at all.
Three and 1.
Rockies are in a little bit of a no double situation. You want to make sure if Carlos gets on that you keep him at first base, keep the double play in order. Jamie Carroll is cheated over towards the line at third base. Outfielders have backed up 2 or 3 steps. They don't want a ball over the top of their head. Tavares is shading Carlos a little bit into the right center field gap. It's neat to see from that high home angle where everybody's positioned.
Strike 3. Quentin's gone, second out in the 9th.
Brian's able to do this on a number of occasions. You sit there looking for the fastball, and he really just froze Carlos. I like the way Brian just tucks that hand in to get that upper body rotation, and then the follow through and the leg whip at the end. Nice shot from our ex-Smo camera.
Change up outside, ball 1 on the kid Mark Reynolds, 23-year-old. University of Virginia product, playing in his first big league game, up from Double-A to replace Chad Tracy. Went on the DL, 2-run double and a single in 3 trips. Outside 2-0.
Not a bad major league debut for that young man.
Nope.
He'll have some memories.
Connor Jackson is on deck. And he's going to get his turn. So Jackson will come up after the 4-pitch walk to Reynolds. That's the first batter the Rockies have walked since Sunday in the 6th inning.
Right around 17 innings, 18 innings.
18 on the dot. Wait, that can't be 18. It's got to be 21. Or 20. It's 20. It's 20 and a third. Look at Doug. He's counting on his fingers. He's got his yeah. He just took his shoes off. Doug, it's
Use
20 and a third.
Please.
No, actually, I'm wrong. It's 20 even because there's 2 outs in the 9th. Anyhow, more importantly,
what's going on here?
Reynolds goes down to second. Defensive indifference is how you score that. He wasn't being held on. 0-1 on Connor Jackson.
Connor's 1 for 5 previously facing Bryan. Numbers aren't too good with runners in scoring position. 0 for 11 would look nice.
Being able to get that changeup over. 2-1. That was a devastating pitch for him last year. He got a lot of strikeouts last year with that pitch. And Bryan, last couple of years, averages more than a strikeout an inning. Tomorrow, Josh Fogg, Livan Hernandez at 1:05. No television tomorrow. And this is popped up, short right field. Hop is there, fitting that he'll make the final out. He is our Gatorade player of the game as Brian Fuentes nails down his 10th save. Hop with a 2-home run ball game. Solo shot in the 4th. That made it 2-0. But then the ball game was tied at 2, and he came to bat against Brandon Webb with 2 aboard, and he lines it over the left field wall. 3-run shot. 5-2 Colorado at that point. They'll win at 5-3. Brad Hop, our Gatorade player of the game. One of the better games the Rockies have played. Aaron Cook gets the win. He's 3-1.